Coming up on UT 10 News in HD, protesters come to Toledo.
And we'll also check out some crime taking place on campus.
Plus, Mckenzie Kuehnlein has highlights of the Rockets' impressive game against the Eagles. Your news in 10 minutes starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gina White.
And I'm Rayvon Isaiah.
CEOs in jail. Here's the corporate veil. CEOs in jail.
The Wall Street movement came to the Glass City yesterday. Toledo residents took part in the Occupy Toledo movement at the Levis Center downtown. The people were protesting government waste and corporate greed. Protesters want more jobs and higher taxes on the rich.
Make a movement here, make a statement. Like I said earlier, it's a squeak. It's our first squeaks nationwide, and right here in Toledo, one of the most hard-pressed areas. It's great to see people coming out and supporting the cause.
This is the 4th week of the Occupy Wall Street movement, and protesters will be going on across the country until November 4th. The UT police have issued an arrest warrant for a burglary and unlawful entry at the student union. On September 5th, Rodney Horton was caught on video surveillance, stealing headphones and a digital camera from the Aramark offices.
We filed criminal charges on him for this latest crime once we were able to identify him with the help of the UT community. A tip came in.
Horton has stolen $115 worth of property and has been arrested 2 times prior for theft on campus. If you have any information on Horton, please call UTPD at 419-530-2600.
You may want to guard your Rocket cards.
Kristen Rosendale tells us how some of them have been misused.
On September 29th, 22-year-old Jonathan M. Terry was arrested and charged with identity theft, forgery, and misuse of a credit card for charging $62 worth of unauthorized purchases on a student's Rocket card. The charges took place at Campus Oasis and were made over the course of 2 days. UT police investigated the crime and were able to find the stolen card.
The officer was able to make contact with Campus Oasis, track down credit card receipts, and basically just track the transactions back to the suspect.
Rocket card theft is not uncommon for students at UT. Cases of stolen Rocket cards are usually under $100 and are used at on and off campus locations. If your Rocket card is lost or stolen, report it immediately to UT Police or to Campus Community Support Services, and a new card will be issued to you by the MyPick office. For UT 10 News, I'm Kristen Rosendale.
2 UT students were involved in an off-campus burglary. On September 26, Jonathan L. Bailey and Jamal Brown were spotted breaking and entering at Stotzenberger College. After being approached by a Toledo police detective, the suspects fled the scene. The detective caught Brown after chasing him on foot, and Bailey, who got away, was later caught by a UT police officer in the parking lot of the Dowd Nash White dorm. He was arrested and handed over to Toledo police.
I know there were some fairly serious charges he was facing. That's probably going to keep him in jail for a period of time.
Jonathan Bailey has been charged with assault on a peace officer, breaking and entering, possession of criminal tools, obstructing official business, resisting arrest, failure to disclose personal information, and obstructing. And Jamal Brown has been charged with breaking and entering, obstructing, and resisting arrest. As a result, they have both been expelled from UT.
Last May, Resident Life closed the quad to save $500,000. However, the Dowd Nash and White resident halls reopened in early August. The university was forced to use the quad to deal with the overflow of students living on campus. Currently, there are 150 students living in the building, and these students might be forced to relocate.
It sucks, you know. It's going to be the winter, so it's going to be hard to move. It's going to be cold. Snow gonna be on the ground, ice, you know, and it's a good place to live at though.
On December 1st, Resident Life will decide if the quad will remain open for next semester. A website for UT students to trade their stuff has been upgraded. This fall, the website mycollegestuff.net became classifix.com. Students can still sell items like books, phones, and computers on the site. Users will now meet in a safe zone in the Rocket Hall Visitor Center to exchange money and items.
Most people have a stigma about using Craigslist and, meeting someone that they don't know. So when there's a place like this, it kind of eliminates that stigma and just kind of makes people trust the online marketplace more.
Any student or faculty with a valid UT email can join Classifix for free. UT fans can now take a rocket bus down to the Battle of I-75. The Student Alumni Association and student government have teamed up to create the Rocket Fan Bus. For $20, students get to tailgate, a ticket to the game, a free t-shirt, round-trip transportation, and an alumni membership. Students have until the 12th to buy a ticket for the fan bus.
And it's an effort to try to get people to stay on UT's campus over fall break to do something else.
30 seats are still available. To buy tickets, go to Rocket Copy, located in the Student Union's South Lounge.
Stick around, we'll be back with Mckenzie, Kuehnlein, and your Rocket Sports in 30.
When I was little, my grandma took me to the Dairy Queen, right? She bought me a banana split. And, you know, I was kind of a little messy when I was little, all right? Then the bee got in the car. My grandma was like, baby, don't swing at the bee, because the bee won't hit you. Don't swing at it. I didn't swing, and guess what happened, Grandma? The bee stung me. I swing at bees because they'll sting you anyway, because they're ruthless and they have no soul.
Welcome back. I'm Mckenzie Kuehnlein, and this is your UT 10 Sports. After blasting past Temple last week in their conference opener, the Rockets were looking to go 2-0 in the MAC, hosting Eastern Michigan on Saturday. It was a historic game for junior wide receiver Eric Page. In the first quarter, Terrence Owens hits Page up with this 17-yard grab to surpass Stephen Williams on the all-time receptions list. Later in the second quarter, with the Rockets up 14-zip, keep your eyes on Page now as he takes this punt and uses his speed, going all the way around to the other side of the field. Then with a couple of well-timed blocks, look at this one, bam, sending him off to the races for this 85-yard punt return, taking it all the way home, putting the Rockets up 21-0. Then, with less than 30 remaining in the third quarter, QB Austin Danton scrambles, then fires the ball to Page in the end zone, making it a 31-point lead. To seal the game for the Rockets, Owens hands off to David Pasquale for a 3-yard TD, making the final score 54-16. Coach Beckman talks about Page's record-breaking performance.
From returns for touchdowns or touchdown catches or throwing touchdowns or running touchdowns, he's done a fabulous job of being a team football player.
Now on to the ladies. After a shutout win against Ohio on Friday, the soccer team ended the weekend on Sunday, battling Akron at home. Only 1 minute into the second half with no points on the board, UT's Megan Blake kicks one in on Akron. But it wouldn't take long for Akron to zip past the Rockets with 2 back-to-back goals. First, Karina Atkinson lobs the ball in, then UT goalie Vicky Travin charges towards Rachel Phillips, taking her down, but the ball still manages to roll on in, giving Akron a 2-1 lead. Just 30 seconds later, the Rockets would fire back as Nicole Gerchik sets up Kristen Lynn for the header, tying the score at 2. The game went into double overtime, but neither team would take home the victory, making the final score 2-2. Coach Brad Evans says despite the tie, UT is still improving in the MAC.
You'd prefer to win a game, but in our conference, 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie. We get a point for the tie, and that keeps us moving forward.
Even though the football team had a huge win against Eastern, they also suffered a big loss, losing their starting senior Danny Noble with a broken fibula.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mckenzie. That's it for UT 10 News. For the latest breaking news from our campus, go to our website, ut10news.com.
And you can always watch our award-winning newscasts on YouTube and Facebook, where you can get caught up on all of your campus news whenever you want. For Gina White, Mckenzie Kuehnlein, and all of our crew, I'm Rayvon Isaiah. Have a great week and stay tuned for more news from your UT campus.